this is Sports for Real with Coach Hall on this wonderful Wednesday morning, and looking forward to the college football playoffs kicking off. Semifinals tomorrow. You got Miami taking on Mississippi. They're going to be playing in the Fiesta Bowl, and then on Friday you got Oregon and Indiana in the rematch. This time at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. That's going to be great. And of course, you got the NFL playoffs kicking off on Saturday. So you got 5 straight days of playoff action coming right at you. And if you back it up, Monday we had the FCS championship game, 1-point thriller between Montana State and Indiana State. But right now, let's talk about Black Monday with all the coaches that lost their job this week. We knew Stefanski was probably going to get fired. We knew Gannon from the Cardinals, Pete Carroll, Stefanski lost his job, and Raheem Morris. Now, Morris started off slow. He's got that quarterback situation they got in Atlanta there. It's not necessarily his fault, but that's what he had to deal with. They didn't start very well this year. Penix goes out with an injury. Kirk Cousins comes in, and they put together a decent ending to the season and pretty much cost Tampa a playoff spot. And there's some promise there in Atlanta, but they decided to part ways with Morris. I never thought that Morris was a great head coach, but who am I? This is the second time he's been fired from a head coaching position, but every time he gets an assistant position, he does great. So he'll land on his feet somewhere, and I think maybe he was warranted to get another shot in Atlanta. But if he didn't start out well the following year, they probably were going to can him. So looking into that crystal ball, they probably say, well, this is what's going to happen, so let's get rid of Morris. But the real news, we've been talking about Harbaugh and Tomlin for the Steelers. These guys have been at their teams for a very long time. Tomlin, 20 years, Harbaugh, 18, and they've been back and forth with each other during that period of time. And the word is amongst fans that maybe it's time for a change. These guys have been in the spot too long, so let's get some fresh blood in here and a different message, if nothing else. Well, while people talked about it, nobody really expected that to happen. Well, it happened yesterday. Harbaugh gets canned by the Ravens after losing that heartbreaking game to the Steelers. And the funny thing about it is, it was already said that if any one of these guys lost their job, it wouldn't take long for them to find another job. And that appears to be the case with Harbaugh. It was reported yesterday that Harbaugh was contacted by 7 teams within 45 minutes of the news hitting the wire that he had been fired. Now, there's only 6 vacancies other than the Ravens. So he's not going to get called back by the Ravens. That extra team means that they already got a head coach, and they are requesting to speak to Harbaugh. So what that means is this unnamed team, they're either waiting around to see how their team does in the playoffs, or if they can get Harbaugh to agree in time to be their new head coach, then that other coach is going to get fired. That's the only way that can play out. And that'll be interesting to see who that can be. Now, a lot of people are speculating. Is it the Steelers? I doubt it. A lot of Packers fans want their coach gone. And the other team, Buffalo, they feel like they need a new message in Buffalo. So the Bills, the Packers, possibly the Steelers could be reaching out to Harbaugh to be their next coach. Be interesting to see how that unfolds. Am I surprised by it? No. I think if you stay in one spot too long, you're going to get stale, and you just need a different energy, not only with yourself but in your environment. And maybe these players, they aren't moved by the same voice anymore. Never mind that they're making millions of dollars to play. All the coach does is put the program together and chart out a course on how you can get to victory. So you still got to go out there and play. Harbaugh didn't miss that kick the other night. But I'll tell you this, being a Steelers guy, I almost wish that the Ravens had won that game. Pittsburgh has been BSing all year. I've told you guys before that they have the propensity the bullshit. And because of that, they put themselves in bad situations. When the Ravens started off 1-5, the Steelers should have buried them and everybody else in that division at that time. But no, they lose games that they're supposed to win. And none was worse than what happened with the Browns. But even before that, DK Metcalf getting himself suspended before the two most crucial games of the season, that didn't look good. So he has a chance to come back with a vengeance this weekend to try to make up for that. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not, but he should have never been in that position. Now, regardless if he was in that position or not, if you take a look at what happened with the Steelers defense the other night, the first quarter, they blew a coverage on fourth down. You're looking in the backfield, and the guy runs right behind him. Fourth quarter, happens twice. You get trips coverage, safety's got to take the middle of the field. They're taking anything deep away. Looking in the backfield, guy runs right by him. Even some of the high school teams got jealous of that because high school teams, they usually leave wide open receivers, but not like that. That should never happen in the pros. Well, the main person behind all of that is Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey got caught looking in the backfield 3 times, and he's in the trail position, chasing the guy that he should have been covering, and all of them at crucial times. Fourth down, they got beat twice for long touchdowns on fourth down. These are professional football players. Why are they making Pee Wee League mistakes? And because of that, Pittsburgh's going to take that kind of attitude and Ramsey's going to show up and play the way he did. I don't think Pittsburgh deserves to be there. I almost wish that Baltimore had won that game. Even after the Steelers take the lead, the damn kicker, he misses the kick. Then he short kicks off, and the guy runs it back to midfield. Then the play to Likely, the ball is up in the air, and Ramsey, I don't know what the hell Ramsey is doing. In all honesty, Ramsey looked like he was paid off to make the plays he was making the other night. So if he's going to play like he's paid off against Houston, then Pittsburgh ain't going to last long. And because of that, I would rather see Baltimore go to the playoffs than a bullshitting Pittsburgh team. And that's just the truth coming from somebody that's been a Steeler guy for over 45 years. I'd rather them not even show up if they're going to play the way they did. Now, on the flip side of that, the light came on. When they absolutely had to play, you see what kind of heart that they have. The Steelers stepped up with the receivers, Adam Thielen, and hell, even Calvin Austin made a couple of plays. Where the hell has Austin been all year? He ain't done nothing. And now you get Metcalf back into the situation. If he's motivated to make up for his time away, then now you have a pretty dangerous offensive mix here with Pittsburgh. I told you guys in the beginning, if they can keep Aaron Rodgers upright, then Pittsburgh is going to be a tough team to deal with. I understand about Houston's being this great defense and all of that, but that don't mean a thing. The offense does not match up to what their defense brings. Now, to give you some context of what I'm talking about, take Texas Tech in college. That's the championship defense they had. But the quarterback was high school. The man was making some dumbass mistakes. All they had to do was not turn the ball over. Texas Tech get 13 points, they beat Oregon. Yeah, they lost 23-0, but if they get 13 points on the board, they beat Texas Tech. Despite all interceptions, he threw one in the end zone. He fumbled and the guy ran it back inside the 5. And they got another drive that was killed because of a fumble. They committed suicide all night against Oregon on offense. If they just don't turn the ball over, that defense would have carried them through to the next round. The same kind of thing with Houston. Stroud's not playing that great. They almost got beat by the Colts the other day. This is not a team that Pittsburgh is going to be frightened of, despite of all the feel-good stories about the Texans these days. In short, Pittsburgh don't see none of that. And because of that, Houston's going to have to play. Now, might take them a little bit of time to figure them out, but Rodgers has been doing this a long time. If they can't get to Rodgers, then it's going to be a problem for Houston. Mark my word for it. All right, let me see who we got here. Selmo, what's going on, man? Boy, coach's heads are going to roll for sure. Yeah, we know that. Willie Mandy, where you been, man? Send John over to the Browns. We'll take him. Well, I don't think he's going to sell out like that. The Browns and the Ravens are really cousins, if you will, because the Ravens was born from the original Cleveland Browns. So I don't think that's going to happen. Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, you've been playing John Madden too much, man. You ain't going to win no Super Bowl. And I think Harbaugh and Sanders would be a great pair. Well, I'm hearing that one of the coaches for the Cowboys that got fired is being considered for the Cleveland job. He said, well, if Sanders is going to be there, don't even consider me for that. And I think that's rather short-sighted, because even if he goes to a job that doesn't have Sanders, who's to say that Sanders won't get traded to his team some kind of way anyway? Eventually, he's going to run cross paths with Sanders, and you're going to have to deal with the kid. And if the kid can play, everybody's got their quirks and eccentricities. So what's the big deal? Kid shown promise, he can play, or has the ability to play, so let him develop. Zachary, yeah, I can say your name. How you doing? What else we got here? But yeah, I think Harbaugh, it was time for him to go do something else. But as you see, within 45 minutes of the news coming out, he had 7 people contact his agent. Now, the Ravens are one of the 7 teams with a vacancy, right? They're not going to call him back. So that means that somebody that still has a head coach contacted Harbaugh about their coaching position, which lets you know that if Harbaugh was to take that position, then that coach is gone. We don't know who that is yet, and we'll probably never find out who that is. And we'll go from there. Now, you say it was obvious Lamar and him fell out. Well, I don't know about all that. Lamar was trying to win the other night. He's been banged up all year, and that's not Harbaugh's fault. Now, again, we never know what goes on behind the scenes. But the thing about Jackson, he's gotten a whole lot better as a passer. But if you notice, his running, he ain't quite as slick as he used to be. And that's going to hurt his game a lot. Once the other teams figure out that he's starting to slow down, then they're going to start blitzing him more. And he's going to be playing teams like Pittsburgh that blow coverages. Or should I say Jalen Ramsey blowing coverages. I don't know what was wrong with him the other night. You put him on the corner, that may not work out because he's going to draw some pass interference calls, all that grabbing and holding he's known to do. And I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do. But if he's going to play like that Monday night, then he might just be the next one out the door. They might just chop his contract. JC, how you doing, man? Yeah, those hits do add up. But I don't know how him and Harbaugh could fall out. It's possible. Maybe Jackson blaming him for certain things, but I don't know. You saw that with Kyler Murray in Arizona. That's the reason why Cliff Kingsbury lost his job. Now they're talking about getting rid of Kyler. You got no more excuses, but you still get the same results. So you got to be careful what you wish for as an athlete when you try to show up a coach. It never works. They try to do that stuff on a high school level, but these kids don't realize that you still got to go through the coach to get to the field. And you try to show the coach up, and you're going to find yourself not on the team anymore. Now, these pro players, you can't get rid of them because of these contracts. But at the same time, when you noisily get rid of a coach, now the spotlight turns on you. You be the next one out the door. So we'll see how that goes. So I got JC, Wi-Fi is lagging. I don't know if it is or not. I'm just getting back to it. I've been off for the last 2 weeks, and that threw my schedule off, as you can imagine. But I got some things in the works. Some new collaborations coming up. I'm still doing the Fango Media. If you look on the collaborations page, you can see the last video I did with the Jaguar fans after they clinched the division against Tennessee. Pretty interesting video. Not only in my own Fango, you got other cities around where guys did interviews, the Houston guys out there. But anyway, say, Buster, you calling me a buster? Well, you can see me, but I can't see you. So why don't you show your picture and let's see what kind of buster you are. Make sure you put some clothes on now, because we don't want to see you in your drawers in your basement. So you can come at me like that, we can get it on. But anyway, Buster Rhymes, I thought you called me Buster. No, man, I apologize for that. Browns don't need no coaches from the Cowboys. We need Harbaugh, McCarthy. Well, they mentioned McCarthy the other day, and they don't think that McCarthy is highly thought of much in NFL circles anymore because he's an older model coach, and everybody's shifting to younger coaches. Um, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but you do get some newer ideas instead of the whole status quo, what you used to. And that's good when you turn over the brain trust like that, bringing some fresh ideas instead of the old way. But that doesn't mean the old coaches can't get it done. Like Pete Carroll, what is he, 74 now? Um, his age, I don't think it plays much of a factor other than the fact that once you start losing, then the young guys act like they don't hear what you're trying to say. But that doesn't mean the guy can't coach football. It's just that when things turn against you, they turn all the way against you. But if they were winning, then nobody would be saying a word about Pete Carroll and the young guys not wanting to listen to him or none of that. It all comes down to if you're winning or not. If these kids are winning, then it's great. But everybody's looking to point the finger at somebody, and it's always going to be the older guy that don't seemingly fit in. So keep that in mind. Pete Carroll ain't an NFL coach. He should have stayed in college. Well, he should have had 2 Super Bowls. Maybe that was a college decision he made by not giving the ball to Lynch against the Patriots. But other than that, he did win the Super Bowl. So you can't take that from him. So I'd sail off into the sunset if I was Pete. Hopefully he's got something else he can do. And it would be mighty shameful if you got nothing else to do. And after being in one thing for all this time, you got to have something to do. And when he was in USC, he was doing, he would go riding through the gang neighborhoods and talk to gang members late at night. I wouldn't have done that, but that's what he was doing. So you got to give the guys respect for that. Pete Carroll. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. We'll be back on tomorrow. And I went and signed up for TikTok. You can catch me at Sports for Real on TikTok. Going over there and follow me so we can go live. I need like 50 followers to go live. So I just started that. So if you would go over to TikTok, Sports for Real, you find me. And we start going live over there as well. But I just want to come on and talk about Jim Harbaugh being fired. And I wonder if Pittsburgh had lost, we'd be talking about Tomlin being fired. But I think Pittsburgh is going to find a way to get by Houston. And once they get by Houston, they're going to become a legitimate threat in the AFC because the AFC right now is pretty much wide open. I know Denver is number one, but Denver can be beat. The offense is not caliber enough to scare you. Jacksonville, they come and go as Lawrence goes. If start making some plays against him, and they do to start turning the ball over. They've been playing great for the last 7-8 weeks. If that continues, then they got a great chance of getting to the Super Bowl. But at some point, you can't play peak all the time, and it's going to come back to bite them at some point. So keep an eye on the Steelers, and I hope in those defensive meetings they can get these guys to stop looking in the backfield because after that first mistake Ramsey made, Baltimore made note of that. And when they had to score, what do? Run the same kind of action and beat him 2 more times with the same crap. So Houston saw that, and they're going to try to do the same thing. So if they don't fix that, then Pittsburgh's not going to last long. What do you think about these college quarterbacks coming out? I think Mendoza would be a good quarterback. That guy from Oregon, he's pretty accurate. But I don't know any rookie quarterback's going to struggle. So I say if they got the mental capacity to get the plays down and be able to get the right checks, because college game is far different from the pros. If they got the mental capacity to run the game and stay on schedule, then any of those guys can play. But some of those guys are a little small, and small quarterbacks tend to struggle a little bit because they can't see over those big guys on the line. So if they can get into a system that moves them around and they can throw the ball and they comprehend the system and get in and out of plays as they're needed, then any of those guys can play. But right now, Mendoza and Indiana are going to be hard to beat. All right. I don't think the overrated Sanders and Ward still better. Perhaps. Miami could win it all when you get to the semifinals. When you don't have a team that's clearly better than everybody else, then anybody can win it. Oregon can beat Indiana, but they're going to need some help. The team that turns the ball over on any game at this level, turnovers make all the difference in the world. And if Indiana doesn't turn the ball over, they're not losing to Oregon. And Miami and Mississippi, that's a great matchup. Question is, can Miami get to the quarterback the way they did Ohio State? With this guy here, Chambliss, he's got more escapability than what Ohio State had, and that might make the difference. So pay attention to that matchup when you watch that tomorrow night. Ole Miss got the Steve Fisher magic going. If you don't remember Steve Fisher, he's the guy that took over for, I think it was Bill Frieda of Michigan, after he took the Arizona State job in '89. I'm talking basketball. Fisher comes in, goes straight to and win the national championship. It beat Seton Hall in Seattle, I believe it was. Mia Robinson, or whatever his name was, and Glenn Rice, Michigan. That was '89, before the Fab Five. So the point is, they fired the coach. When the coach moved on, they wouldn't let him coach in the playoffs. They end up winning with the interim coach. And the same thing could happen with Mississippi with the Lane Kiffin situation. But we'll see how that goes. He needs to declare for the draft. Who is he? You're talking about Trinidad. I forget who Trinidad is. Oh, he's talking about Chambliss. No, he's trying to play another year in college. Evidently, he's already played 5, and he just petitioned the NCAA for a 6th year. He's got a deal pending to return to Ole Miss if he can get cleared through waivers. And I don't see why they should keep letting these guys play all these 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Hell, COVID's over with. So it's time to let somebody else come in there and make some of that money. Chambliss probably needs to go to the pros while he's hot, go ahead and make some of that pro money. But right now, if they win this game and make it to the championship, he's already made a deal to return to Ole Miss. So that money had to be sweet for him to come back instead of trying to go to the pros. So I would try it myself, but I'm hoping that the NCAA turns that waiver down because it's time for these guys to move on. 5 years, get on out the way, man. That's just the way it should be. All right. But anyway, I got to get up out of here, man. Fresh start to the year. Got the kids coming back, and the horn's already going off, so I got to go sign in. I appreciate you guys checking in with me. Again, please go over to TikTok and look me up at Sports for Real. Follow me so I can start going live over there. We do the simultaneous at the same time, and I think that'd be great. But anyway, you guys have a great day. I'm going to have a great day myself, and I'm looking forward to this baseball season. I got to start up this today, and hoping to win some games this time. All right, so you have a great day. This is Sports for Real. I'm out. My Steelers need to tighten up.